do think that's a whole other reference, comparison / metaphor that I don't want to get into with this. Dropshipping is the republishing of fan fiction as traditional media. Let's talk about that. No, I'm kidding. When I first heard the phrase fast fashion for book publishing, I fully thought that they were referencing the self-publishing arms of things and people publishing books that would get nowhere near close to being published today. And that those become the TikTok faves and that people talk about them and all that stuff to the point that they become traditionally published. And then you have instances like Iron Flame where there is an ethics / content issue in regards to the Gaelic that people have questions about in relation to, because that's not a fake thing. Gaelic is real, obviously. So it's like when you're referencing real things in your fantasy book, there needs to be a certain systems of checks and balances, and you would think that within publishing, like a self-publishing author making that mistake is not good, but I think it's one thing versus someone who is traditionally published. Like there's so many layers of paint that goes into a finished book before it hits publishing. And so if those layers of paint are not being applied properly, that is a problem. A couple of things I wanted to bring up further. People on our books on Reddit discuss is TikTok is turning books into fast fashion, and they linked the Bloomberg article that we just read. Someone said, having listened to a lot of If Books Could Kill, I'm beginning to believe it's the publishing industry that's turning books, especially self-help nonfiction, into fast fashion. Someone replied, it's both. Publishers need to make money and influencers need money and social media clout. The article talks about cultural appropriation, but let people enjoy things is such an overgeneralization that could apply to any book review that's less than positive. It gets more controversial when there's books and authors that are more obvious about wanting fame or money as their main goal, and people get annoyed if the marketing's really excessive, but the book is subpar. They're talking about a couple of different things here, obviously, in this thing, but I think that's important to note because I was talking about it specifically during lockdown. People were starving for books, okay? People were reading through books at a speed they never realized they could read at during lockdown because there was nothing else to do for so many people. That's where we saw the rise of the self-publishing, in my opinion, based on what I've seen in the last few years, being on TikTok, Book Talk specifically. There are obviously content creators and creators.
She's looking really Disney.
Book Talk specifically that are bigger than others, and we have seen this. I've talked about some that have crashed and burned. I've talked about some that have become power hungry and all of that. There was this whole thing a few months back where there was someone who did an anti-haul of books that they bought that they will never read, and it was like very weird, and people were like, this is very wasteful, and it was like it was a whole thing. I do think that there are people that collect books for a variety of reasons, because that is something that people collect. I collect books. I do try and read all of them, but on occasion my eyes are bigger than my brain. But then you also have people who recommend books because they don't have the ability to read at the speed that they think they should be reading at, but they want to keep making content, so they recommend books that they have not read or that they have just read the synopsis of, and they're like, oh, this will be good for this list of books for enemies to lovers books and things like that, even though let's say that's just a small segment of the book or they saw one review or things like that. So there's lying within that, but I think that's one thing. We're also at the annual time of year where people are sharing their Goodreads goals for the year and showing how many books they read this year. I did not hit my reading goals this year. I've had a very busy year, and for some reason I was in a book slump whenever I was home, really, when I wasn't traveling. And so I wanted to read 60 books this year, and I did not. I'm at 42, about to be 43 of my 60 books for the year. Now,
42 books is good.
Personally, for myself, very impressive.
I don't read
I'm not hitting my goal
books.
of 60 books this year. This time
I read.
Year,
I just don't read a lot of
share
books.
that they have read 100 to 150, in some instances more than that, books in 1 year. And people think that they're lying, that it's just for clout and things like that. And someone did a video where they're like, oh, how'd you do this? How'd you do this when you have school and work and family? And she's like, life sucks. This is all I have. This is all I have that I like to do. Even with dyslexia, I'm a fairly fast reader now at 26 than I was obviously when I was in the second grade and finally got told I had dyslexia. Even when it comes to other people that are like my age group that have been reading very avidly, you know, like a lot of people don't read in adulthood.
Oh, thank you
so
for the compliments. I just saw them.
Listening to
I appreciate it.
1.8 speed, you know, they could be a couple of different things, okay, as to why they're reading that many books. Do I think that it's relevant as to why they're reading that many books? No, but in Book Talk, it's a competition, it seems, which I think is what it is.
This is looking way more cartoony.
I can't
And
read that and
I
I read fast, but you can't read that
anticipated.
or whatever. I don't know. I think it's a couple of things. Do I think the amount of books that people are reading in a year is contributing to the fast fashion of books? Not necessarily. I think the flash in the pan explosion popularity of books is what's contributing to it more than anything. Whether that be the dark romance girlies really making Haunting Adeline a big book, which is a whole thing. A bunch of stalker dark romance books coming out, and some of them are horrifically awful. So bad. Not even just in the subject matter, like writing wise. My
It's
God,
too
are
red.
these bad.
Too red.
The girlies wanted them, so they were written. There's also this whole other side thing that I'm not going to get
Yeah,
into.
there's a lot of browns and pales. Animals are mostly brown, I've noticed.
Which was fun until someone realized that someone's bike was put in Barnes and Noble. Oh my God, they're adapting. They know, like as a joke, okay. And then the person whose bike it was like, oh yeah, that's my bike. Hi, anyone's got any book recommendations or whatever. And he was 16. And so all of these women that were adults started
I do this in 6 minutes.
Smut. Man, that is a child. Don't make my skin crawl. God. Okay. I'm gonna start fighting people. God. Obviously, that is a separate thing. Okay. But that's people not being able to distinguish reality from fiction. That's a whole separate thing. That's not understanding boundaries and, you being an adult in a situation. That's a whole separate thing. Like I said, I think it's naive to think that TikTok, Book Talk specifically, has not had an effect on publishing. The question for this video of has Book Talk turned publishing into fast fashion? I think yes. This video is getting long. I'm gonna wrap it up. What do you think of the rise of self-publishing? What do you think of Iron Flame and Fourth Wing? What do you think about TikTok's effect on the state of the book economy, let alone the book publishing world? Let me know. Comment down below. Reminder, I have a podcast, the Swell Hands Podcast. Reminder that Swell Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder, I'm now streaming on Twitch. Reminder, I now have Twitch. Shout out to my patrons. Thank you so much for supporting my Patreon. If you'd also support my Patreon, that'll be down below. Like on my social media. It'll be up here, and that's going to be it. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. Anyone got any book recs? Abby, Adira, Amy, Andrew, Angel, Aslan, Cameron, Corey, Donnie, Elliot, Glenn, Goth, Jasmine, Kenny, Lauren, Literal, Madeline, May West, Medic, Micah, Michael, Nathan, Palace, Pink, Cordy, Rachel, Randy, Robert, Rosie, Ryan, Sam, Skylar, Tasha, Tenzin, Thomas, Heavenly, Victor, Winter, Link.
Like many women over 40, I'm starting to get more dark spots.
New Bright Reveal Niacinamide Serum by L'Oreal fades the look of all types of dark spots by up to 40%. New Bright Reveal Niacinamide Serum by L'Oreal Paris.
Tender, juicy chicken made to order. Crispy bacon, melted Swiss cheese, and fresh lettuce and tomato. Available fried or grilled, only at Freddy's. Meet America's new favorite chicken sandwich. Order at Freddy's.com or on your Freddy's app.
Is it odd to anyone else that we live in a society where there is a trend cycle around our travel drinking containers? That's it. That's my intro. Hey, I'm Amanda, watching Swell Entertainment, and today we are doing another What's Not a Cult But Feels Like a Cult Stanley Cup edition. I recorded this before we realized there was a mic issue, so we are using the camera audio for this video to avoid the skipping, but that is why there is a horrific echo. It's been a while since we've done a What's Not a Cult But Feels Like a Cult video. There just hasn't been anything that I really got fired up about. There's things that make me concerned about the future of society. That video of people behaving like the Walking Dead over a Stanley Cup deal at Target.
The OV. You got up early for the Target Stanley release.
Concerning, frankly. There's been things like that lately, okay, but there's nothing that I can feasibly trace back to TikTok. And that is entirely what I think we can blame the Stanley Cup situation on. Now, last year, a bunch of you wanted me to make a video on water talk. Water TikTok. It's a thing. The thing is that a bunch of creators made videos on water TikTok, and unless I feel I have something to add, or it's exciting for me to talk about, or, I feel I have a different perspective than other creators,
I try to do something a little bit different than the other creators. Like, there have been times where I'm like, I shouldn't make a video on that, and then I see other creators make a video on it, and I'm like, I could have been first, because I would have made that video a month ago. But as a refresher for
Thank
those
you.
of you that weren't on the water talk hype train, water talk
I do really
was
like
about
compliments, so I appreciate it.
typically women, female creators, taking typically their Stanley Cup and making water for the day, including a bunch of syrups, sometimes like those powdered juice packets or whatever, and basically making potions as adult women, which I'm not against, you know, making potions in adulthood. I fully believe in side quests to live a healthy and fulfilled life in adulthood, like, because we all suffer under capitalism, we might as well do the fun stuff in the mix, okay, throw it in there, okay, and if drinking sugar water is what gets you through the day, all right. I do worry about your teeth, I do worry about your intestinal health, I worry about your stomach lining. I did see one with charcoal in it, and I was like, okay, I thought we learned about the potential ramifications of just eating charcoal. At the very least, if you were on the pill, it will make it ineffective. Be warned, any medication you're on, it's gonna lie in your stomach. They gave it to you when you were in the hospital.
That one's too small.
Poisoned, essentially, okay?
Here
Don't
it is.
just drink it because it looks cool. Stanley Cups have been a frenzy for a while on TikTok. I would say they've been a good, one of the more persistent trends, one of the it girl, you know, things to have. Me bringing up like the trendification and the trend cycle of the water container is literally because I remember when you were a boring, basic
Thank you.
bitch if you did not have a hydro flask. Forget even the Visco girls, okay? Forget that whole thing. If you didn't have a hydro flask, I did cross country in high school. Shocking, I know. I dislocated my knee twice. Don't get excited. I truly don't think you were like officially in varsity, okay, until you had a hydro flask. You weren't cool until you had.
What do the
hydro flask.
emojis
And
mean?
That sounds crazy now looking back. Even in college,
I don't know what those
hydro
mean.
flasks as well. And now we're on to Stanley Cups, even though Stanley Cups has been around for a very long time.
It's probably a little too much
Cups,
orange.
in particular, from where I was very familiar with them, was like people in my life that were construction workers. They loved those things, specifically the travel mugs. Love those. A lot of like my friends that go camping, they were really big with the Stanley Cups in the camping scene. Okay, but as far as like day to day, cool person, water receptacle. Okay, the Stanley Cup was not that. It is entirely TikTok. Okay, that I think we can chalk it up to, you know, making it seriously super cool. Okay.
It's too early in the year for a copyright claim. They are playing popular from Wicked.
I were to compare this to any of the other products / things that we've talked about that have been included in the What's Not Cool, it feels like a cult series. I would probably compare this to Ray Dunn because some of these collections are getting out of hand, and now
Fish,
we have officially
mountain,
the Target
crying
frenzy,
penguin.
Whereas with Ray Dunn, it was home.
Those are cute emojis.
Footage. I think it's an employee that got it of them filming from behind the Stanley Cup.
Three-eyed
display, like, hiding
monster
behind an aisle,
girl.
as if they are filming like the
That's
literal
cute too.
zombies coming at them. Crazy. When I saw that video, I thought someone had set off a firework in an aisle, and people were like scrambling to get away from it or something. Like it was like the initial, and then I was like, oh my god, it's Stanley Cups. Really? Now, I gotta check the dates on the Target videos that I've particularly seen. I don't know when they were shared or when they were filmed. I think it was the post-holiday restock, maybe, okay? Because a lot of the holiday hauls that I've been seeing on TikTok have included, at least for the young teen girls, okay? Because I'm gonna be honest, I'm one of those people, I love watching rich kid holiday hauls. Does it make me feel bad about my personal finances and the fact that I opted out of Christmas? A little bit. If I ever do start feeling too bad about myself for watching those, I just remind myself that I don't have to go through middle school again.
So I think that's
and I
done.
even the not rich kid holiday hauls, okay. A lot of these are including
When
a Stanley
drawing,
Cup as
sometimes
well.
you just
I
gotta
got a couple
be
of
done
ones
or you're
where
gonna
it was
fuck
like,
it
oh
up.
my gosh, yeah, I just got my daughter a Stanley
Damn.
Cup and all this stuff, and she's like freaking out. You would have thought I bought her a car or what have you.
I thought this would take me longer. It didn't take me that long.
But as far as like products go, it could be worse.
There's
Like,
deer.
it literally could be like.
Should I just stop or should I draw something else?
Apparently,
I didn't-
for
I didn't plan anything else.
Where they just decide they're going to
I
start,
just
like,
do this.
running a Sephora like the
Hey guys.
and being
Hello.
absolute menaces to society at the same
It's
time
me.
to employees. Where
Should I
the
draw a
fuck are
tiger
they
again?
money? I get I just talked about rich kids and all of
probably
that,
not.
but like I
Probably
don't
not.
understand. Like I don't go to Sephora on the regular. Why are you? I'm just trying to understand.
I could draw a
Stanley Cups that I used to
Bambi.
see en
That'd be nice.
masse
Yeah, I'm gonna draw Bambi.
already at Target, at Walmart.
I think I'm gonna do this ink for you guys again though.
Sometimes, not really though. Like just cups that I would just see around, you know, are now flying off the shelf. Specifically, the one cup, okay, the big, tall drinking cup, because you can fit a lot in there. And I guess I should be glad that like y'all are hydrated. I guess that's like as far as cult-like behavior goes, at least this one leads to hydration, a slightly healthier intake level. That's great. I think that's good. This is my water bottle. It's not a Cool Girl water bottle. It is an Nalgene, made in USA. Okay, it's got the measurements on the side. It's got TikTok branding all over it because I got it for free and it come from the TikTok lounge. So what everyone freaked out about in the Target video was the Valentine's Day drop from Target for Stanley Cup. The Quencher H2O tumbler is the 40-ounce one that everyone is obsessed with. It looks like this. William, you can put them up here. These are $45, and it's like it's like a big gulp. You know, there's a lot of versatility. The skinny bottom is great for sticking it in your car, okay, for cup holders, things like that. Typically, when I do a What's on a Gulp It Feels Like a Gulp video, I try to achieve the item in question. However, for this video, I did decide to film it about
This looks more like a
15 hours
dog
ago, and I just
than a
haven't had
deer.
time to go and, you know,
A female
elbow
deer.
along at Target to get a Stanley Cup. So you will have to forgive me this time. Next time I will come correct, I promise. Now, the thing with the Stanley Cups is that a lot of people do complain about their leak situation. They do occasionally leak from the top, and so people complain about it, obviously. And so this is from Natalia Rice. This is from literally a year ago to almost the day of me recording this. Someone in the comment section said, I don't give a shit if my cup leaks. I'm not flipping my cup upside down. If I want something that doesn't leak, I'll use my hydro flask. Am I the only one that doesn't walk around with my cup upside down? Please, I wouldn't spend over $20 for a damn cup anyways. Okay, I don't think I can play this video because Brenda Carpenter's feathers in the background, so I'm gonna talk over this video. Come with me to get the new Stanley Cup. They are lined up outside of Target. This video I did not think
Oh, the eye
was
looks
so
worse.
long and it was so cool. What happened to album releases like this? My Target had them behind the counter, literally hiding them. I see them. And they've got all this Target, the cups stacked up.
I can't believe I'm running for a Stanley Cup. I got mine secured, but now they're starting to argue. Mission completed.
People are literally holding up their hydro flasks to the cameras like they're showing bands. Listen, as a red girly, I get it, okay? Especially pink girlies go hard, okay? The plum color looks nice. I am a purple girly, okay? But like, this is excessive. And she's definitely a red girly. This woman in particular, she's literally monochromatic. Her sweater's red. Her nails are red. Her hydro flask is red.
I'm worried, guys. This might not turn out as good as this one.
TikTok, I have been cleaning my Stanley all
I may have girl
Girl I
buffed too
saw
close
on
to the sun.
TikTok took this part off of her Stanley and it had a shitload of mold on it. I have never taken this off. I didn't think you could take it off. I thought it just slid over like that. So I'm gonna do that today and hopefully not reveal something disgusting. I've been drinking out of that.
The other thing about water talk that concerns me as well, and there is a story, I'm going to pull up this article because I think it's important. A woman got a fungal infection, I believe. Also, sorry if I knocked the desk, okay? It's here. I talk with my hands. Sometimes I have to slam the desk for pronunciation, enunciation, words, thoughts. So I'm sorry, okay? I'm getting used to it. It's a work in progress. So this is from the New York Post from Alexander Klossner. My water bottle landed me in the ER. It was poisoning me for weeks. She can't bottle up her feelings any longer. Kay, a 19-year-old college student from Athens, Georgia, is sharing a tale of caution after improper cleaning of her mold-filled reusable Awala water bottle made her sick. Kay posted a video on TikTok where she goes by Kaybree, detailing her ordeal
Does this
with
look
what
like a
is
deer?
since getting more than 3.3 million views since being posted 5 days ago. She explained that she forgot to take the silicone stopper out of her water bottle, which she suspected was the culprit of her illness. Hey, this is a PSA to anyone who owns an Awala. At
sick in August. I had a cold that minor, you know? Lasted a week and then didn't go away. Went to urgent care. Bronchitis, she said in the video. I have had bronchitis. It is not fun. It lasts for 9,000 years. You just sound like death. It's hard to sleep. It's genuinely horrific. Of course, they give me an inhaler and then pills and die. Of course, break out in hives as a result of the pills. I've also done that. Are we the same person? Bronchitis takes longer than it should to go away, though she finally got better after 3 weeks, but then was promptly greeted with a sinus infection. God, my bronchitis literally lasted like 2 months. It took me forever to get over that. She returned to the urgent care, got antibiotics, and subsequently said she spent about a week and a half feeling illness-free before getting sick again. She said she just had a cold and lasted 3 weeks and eventually had the worst sore throat of my life. She went to urgent care for the 4th time in 1 school semester, at which time she shared the doctor looked at her throat and said, "Oh my goodness, it's a really angry throat. Are you in pain?" First of all, I know I don't clean it as much as I should.
Thank you.
No one does. I know it's full of bacteria. She said she cleaned the bottle, followed by the lid, which she had to Google regarding how to clean properly, and then discovered that people in online forums like Reddit and the silicone piece of the water bottles had to be removed. I didn't know it came out, covered in mold that had embedded itself into the silicone. She subsequently ordered a replacement on Amazon, and her bottle is as good as new. Once I cleaned it, got better. Haven't gotten sick since. I have mold poisoning from my water bottle. Now, you have to be cleaning your cups, okay? You have to clean these things. You have to clean your Brita filter cups, okay? You have to clean your Simple Modern cups, your Stanley cups, your Hydro Flask. There are cup cleaners that are literal brushes that are like literally almost look like toilet brushes, but they get in there and they deep clean everything, okay? Get one of those. Forget the concoction that people put in on Water Talk, okay? Even just water, if you run out of water and then you let it sit, okay, like say this is empty, okay, I let it sit, that condensation that just traps in there can
Thank
grow
you.
stuff, okay? You drinking out of it, you are
It's supposed to be a
introducing
deer.
foreign
I don't know
body
if
into
that.
the cup that's not water, whether you realize it or not. That can
It
grow
looks
stuff,
more like a
okay?
lamb.
I'm not a microbiologist or a
I don't know
chemist or
why
whatever
it
the
looks like
word
a
would
lamb,
be,
is it?
okay? But I just clean it. Clean it. Gross. Okay, all of it. So here's someone cleaning literally. The reason I brought this up is because this person is cleaning what looks to be 9,000 Stanley cups, because you never just have one reel. I think that's the thing as well, is with the Stanley cups, is someone used the word public consumption or consumption as like a form of status, and how typically this is something for wealthy people, but I think in the age of the influencer now it's become like a big deal, like, oh yeah, of course
Maybe.
I have this SD card holder that looks like a
But
skull.
like
Of
the
course I have it.
reference
It's
I'm
all
using,
about
the
icon.
ears are pretty
Zendaya has
big.
it
You
too.
just can't see the other one.
We love Zendaya in this house. The idea that there are certain
Let me look
products
at
that
other
you can buy
references.
that make you better than other people is
I think it's just the
getting out of
pose.
hand.
Or
And
maybe
it's
this
gone out of hand
species of
before,
deer just
okay?
has
This isn't
big ass
new
ears. I don't
things
know.
where it's like, oh yeah,
Maybe
you're
it's
not
the
gonna
ugly
do
cousin of
this,
deer.
okay? But it's gotten to such a widespread.
I hope
to
coloring
the
it
point that people are
looks different, though.
sprinting through Targets.
And breaking boycotts to buy the
Let me
Starbucks
just-
Stanley Cup
here's what I
collab.
mean.
That launch happened
Thank you.
after
I
filmed
appreciate
this
it.
video. That's why it has not been mentioned so far.
A little much.
Yeah, I think
We're
it's just the
taking a
ears are too
step
big.
into an
I'm sure once I
insane
color it,
space.
it'll
Again, with the Stanley
look
Cups,
better.
it's never just one. This person has 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 Stanley Cups, an insane amount. They have cops, they have security there. They have an employee there handing people the cups to make sure they don't panic, and they have security there. Insane. Something I want to note about the Stanley Cup as well is they did something
funny how animals have
very
eyelashes.
nice. The actual company Stanley
Disney
Cup.
was
Forget
right.
this. Forget raining hellfire down on Target employees. And there was a TikTok user.
What are the there's
shared a
emojis on my
video
sidebar
about
on my
their
live?
Stanley
I
Cup.
don't know what
Everybody's
that's
so
from.
concerned about if the Stanley
Oh, Warrior Cats. I read those
would
books.
out the melt.
Thanks for subbing. I appreciate it.
It was in a fire yesterday. Still has ice in it.
Stanley duetted this and said, "We will never do this again, but we would like to get you a new car."
My name is Terrence Riley. I'm the president of
Yeah, I
Stanley.
think once I
We've never
color
done this
it,
before, and we'll probably
it'll just
never
look
do it
better.
again. But we'd love to replace your vehicle.
And they just delivered the car, I think a week or so ago, right before Christmas.
I've never had a brand new car in my entire life, and you feel really comfortable and made me love the company even more.
Now, that is an incredible way for a brand to stitch a company. As far as marketing goes, impeccable.
I hate when you color
Phenomenal
something
PR, because that's a one-time
with a
thing. This
color
is the
pencil or a
user that
crayon,
is speaking
and it doesn't
highly
look
of
the
your product
way
and showing that
that
it
the
works.
paint
And
is.
also the marketing of,
This should
you
be
know,
a
literally
prettier
getting a
brown.
car. It's a one-time purchase thing, and people bought even more Stanley Cups because of how they responded.
Oh, that's interesting.
Not just doing like a, hey, we heard your car got
I was like,
no, it's literally
why are there emojis?
someone sitting there talking to the camera, explaining why they were going to buy
This
the car.
probably might be
Like
better.
hype machines go, I'm cool with that. That's really cool. And if like I could trace the hype back to that instance, I think I would be a little more understanding of the hype. But the hype around it literally is just social
Thank you
media.
for explaining.
That got them
Appreciate
a lot
it.
of sales. Do that whole situation, okay, and doing that good deed and all of that. That got them a lot of sales, which I don't think is inherently bad. But two things can be true at once. They did something good, and they also saw a lot of money by doing something good. I think those two things can coexist. But the Stanley Cup craze is not tied to that, because it was happening before that. The Target videos, this is the first time I've seen it. I don't know if there has been other instances of people becoming literal frenzy people over cups. If that's been caught on camera before, I don't know. But
Go
the
eat
fact that
then.
it's, like,
You don't gotta
at
stay
least
here. Go eat
dozen
some
different
food.
targets that I
I
can
made
see
breakfast hours
experiencing
ago.
this, it's just insane.
That's because
Like,
I wake up so
it's
fucking
too
early
much. It's
because
saying,
I like being in
I want
pain.
you to tell me if you have a Stanley Cup right
So
now.
like, yeah,
you
go
own
eat.
one,
You ain't gotta
okay,
stay.
You're watching this and you're like, oh, this bitch. Okay. One,
Hope you eat something good. I made
two,
eggs.
I want you to tell me why you like the Stanley Cup, okay? And I don't just want you to tell me that you like it because it's cool on TikTok and an influencer that you likes have it, which is, I would normally say a valid thing. It's like, oh, so-and-so recommended it to me and I trust their opinion. That's one thing, but I want you to give me like legitimate reasons as to why you like it other than like the implied social
Have a good
currency
day.
that you now have because you own the big Stanley Cup. Forget even the holiday ones, forget the Valentine's Day ones. Why do you like your big Stanley Cup? Okay, the 40-ounce, $45 one. Tell me why you like it. Comment down below, please. Okay, I will accept things like color, its ability to transport liquid, okay, how it fits in with your work life, your day-to-day life, things like that. Tell me
Printed?
why you like it.
Oh, that.
Would love to hear it, truly. And what made you buy it?
Can you
originally?
print with
And
colored
if
pencil?
the answer is TikTok made me buy
That'd be
it,
pretty cool.
I will accept it, okay? But
But
I
no,
just
yeah,
wanna
that would.
know why
It'd be
you
fucked up. They're like, yo, it's fake.
like your Stanley
Like,
Cup.
look, you can
I'm
tell
just
she's
trying to
copying.
understand the frenzy because I have liked quite a few
Where's
things
my
in an
phone?
unchill way, okay, in my life. I have an addictive personality. It's not shocking, okay? But there's never been, in my opinion, a time in my life where I have felt the need to sprint through a Target for a physical thing. Like, we didn't even get that during Black Friday sales. Like, we got none of that during Black Friday. Like, I know that's become a meme, like how Black Friday sales just kind of suck this year. But like, literally nothing the last few years has been like frenzy worthy, even before the boycotts and everything. I get it if you're a certified lover girl and you're like, oh my god, the Valentine's Day collection. Yes, I get that. But like, cups, they're not even like a fun heart shaped like they don't even look like, if the cups were that shape, then I might get it. I'd be like, that is cute as hell. I get it, something fun. But no, it's just the cup in a color.
Dude, if I could do that, I wouldn't be here. If I had the money to like buy a colored pencil printer,
I've seen some people say that the mocking / criticism
that would be funny though. This is all a lie, guys.
frenzy is because it's mostly being enjoyed by women that we inherently mock.
Sorry to tell you guys this, but yeah, this is fake. I printed.
In a lot of things. I don't think that's the case.
It's
here.
a
No one
video.
has one Stanley Cup instance. There's
Swell
a
Entertainment.
very insane
I like to watch
frenzy
her.
around
She's funny.
the hoarding of the Stanley Cup. I think this is a mocking.
I think it
of,
looks more like a deer now,
consumerism
so that's good.
on a trendification insane level. Okay, frankly, I would have understood this argument more prior to the Valentine's Day collaboration color launch. Okay, then maybe I could understand. Oh, you're just criticizing them because women can't enjoy things or something. People are sprinting through Targets. People are arguing with each other. People are arguing
A dog.
with Target employees and the like. That's ridiculous. That's not
a
level
deer.
with
It's
things.
supposed to be a baby
That's-
deer.
We've lost the plot.
That's going to be it for now. I'm sure there will be something else.
That didn't
because I
come
think they have
across?
a couple other drops happening in the next couple of months for various holidays, which will be something. Please, just if you are doing
Can you
this,
see it?
be respectful of
Does it
employees,
look
be
like a
respectful of
deer?
people around you. Do
Kind
not
of,
elbow people.
maybe.
Someone falls down, help them up.
I get the right angle.
Be a human being is the hope. know, do you have a Stanley? Do you like Stanleys? Do you want a Stanley? Do you know a tween in your life who went feral over getting a Stanley?
I should draw a dog. I don't think I've drawn a dog.
Podcast reminder that Swamp Entertainment is now available on Spotify. Reminder, I'm now streaming on Twitch. Reminder that I have merch. Shout out to my Patreon. Thank you so much for supporting me on Patreon. If you'd like to support me on Patreon, leave this down below. I just want to know social media. That'll be up here. And that's me. Have a lovely day. Goodbye. My stomach just growling. I need to eat.
Dira, Amy, Andrew, Angel, Aslan, Cameron, Corey, Donnie, Elliot, Glenn, Goth, Jasmine, Kenny, Lauren, Literal, Madeline, Mae West, Medic, Micah, Michael, Nathan, Palace, Pink, Cordy, Rachel, Randy, Robert, Rosie, Ryan, Sam, Skylar, Tasha, Tenzin, Thomas,
Thank
Heavenly,
you.
Victor, Winter, Flink.
Appreciate the compliment. The reddish brown would be great right now. What am I listening to? Swell Entertainment. One of her things.
Shopify helps aspiring business owners, like Nona Lucia here, turn their passion into a product.
Yeah, that
Build your
eye is
online
definitely
So an
not.
accusation was made when it shouldn't have been made, but even if the accusation had been true,
Yeah.
it literally is just like the definition of influencing.
That's it. That's my agenda.
Hello.
Hi, I'm Amanda.
How's your day
from Swamp
going?
Entertainment, and today we are talking about the Tay Beat Boo Karen slash
That looks too big.
home DIY.
I'm just gonna have to deal with that.
Debacle. Yeah, I know I've been saying this a lot, yeah, but I wasn't sure about making this video.
I mean, I might
because
not
just
draw the
tweeted
play,
about it. Some people
but-
were like, "Oh well, I want to know more. Like, what's the deal? Explain this to me." The nature of my channel, but also I should have made this video a week ago, but I'm glad that I didn't because Tay just posted her apology 2 days ago, and I think
I'm
there's
gonna
a
use
bigger
the pink,
conversation
actually.
here about the certain type of fame that TikTok generates and what that does to a creator's psyche and how that can lead to a very misguided hostility when they interpret something as a threat to their stardom and their audience base. Amanda, I thought you said this is about home DIY, home decor. Yeah, I know. There's a lot happening here.
And if you couldn't tell from my super great dubbing done at the start.
Well,
of
I've
this
been very,
video,
like,
for some
focused
reason
on the
I keep reading
face,
Karen's name
'cause
as
that's the
Karen.
moneymaker.
Obviously, that's not true. Her name is Karen, so I'm going to fix it where I can. But if I can't, then I'm sorry. That is 100% on me. That is my bad.
Full disclosure, I was following Tay before this. Followed Tay for a variety of reasons. One, I liked the color scheme of a lot of her videos, but mainly I really liked her overall vibe behind her content, which was, you know,
Bye,
putting
Warrior
things out,
Cats
join your
_lover.
life, living your home very joyful, and putting things that you like in your home.
Hope your
even though
food's
they may
good.
not necessarily go together. I'm someone who has moved around a lot and didn't really get the chance to really make the rooms that I lived in when I was with my family my own, because I wouldn't know how long we were going to be able to be there before we couldn't pay our rent anymore. And so when I got this place, I was very much like, this is mine. Ha ha ha. So I just like having, you know, warm colors and things like that here, and there's still a lot of personalization that I can't do until I have my own place, home space. I just liked Tay's overall, like, seeming philosophy around her home decor style and things like that. And so that's why I was following Tay. And that's why I saw Tay's initial video. And I think, I don't know, when I first saw it, I don't even think I really believed that it was copying. I was just like, that's not copying. Like, specifically the gallery wall with the dinosaur heads, I was like, the dinosaur head thing has existed for a while. Also, I thought the green line didn't look good regardless for either of them, so I was like, okay, you know, like, there's little things here and there where I was just like, this is stupid. And so I don't even think I finished watching the video because I didn't even get to the part about the wallpaper until I started seeing reactions to it. And then I was like, what do I mean about the wallpaper? Basically, Tay made a video saying, I've been dealing with this privately, but now it's getting to a point where I'm annoyed now. So, like, this girl on here has been copying me, stealing my DIYs,
Oh,
doing
spaghetti.
them for herself and claiming
Spaghetti's
them as her
good.
own.
I've been meaning to make some lasagna for like the longest time.
That's so ridiculous. Because it is ridiculous. This whole thing is ridiculous.
I'm about to be so petty, and I've never done something like this before, but there is a large creator who is just getting out of hand. So this is my mossy mirror that I made, and immediately she makes this. which is like fine. That's a coincidence, whatever. I have this green squiggle art gallery, and now she does too. The difference is she's hanging something else, so that's different. That's creative. But she's also ripping off my boyfriend's art. So that's my boyfriend's art. I have a monster head art gallery. He makes monster heads. They're so realistic and beautiful. This is her version. This is her monster head art gallery. Painted my room green and blue. They're very abnormal color choices, and I got a lot of hate for it, but I really love it, and I spent months on the colors. Look at what colors she's doing for her kitchen. I hung up this cake wallpaper. That just happens to be my actual wallpaper line that I have. Look at this photo. Orange couch, wallpaper.
Thank you.
Art gallery.
Hello.
That orange couch is literally the knockoff of my orange couch.
First example is the moss mirror, which they don't even look the same, and so I was just like, this is stupid. Like, moss mirrors aren't new, you know, like it's just stupid, and so I didn't even like think anything of it when I was watching it. I think that's why I scrolled. I was like, this is stupid, and then the dinosaur head thing was the one where I was like, okay, I'm done, and I scrolled away. In some instances, there is proof that Karen had been working on these projects prior to Tay posting her videos, so therefore there would be no way to have copied her, because there's proof of her like documenting this design process, building process, making process before Tay ever even posted her video, so therefore it could not possibly be copied.
So the first thing you do is you say, look at my moss mirror. Look at it. She copied me. And you said, look at her mirror. She copied my mirror. Okay, but a few things. One, the mirror was never supposed to look like this. Okay, this wasn't the original vision. The mirror was supposed to be neutral because they're doing a neutral room for her husband. The mirror was not supposed to look like this. This is how she saved it, because you see the mirror cracked. It cracked when it dried. Look at when you upcycled your mirror on April 17th. Okay, this is when you took your broken mirror and you made it a moss mirror. But here's her on April 4th, 13 days before your mirror. Most of it is red. Next, you're like, look at my gradient room. Okay, look at these colors. These colors are original. Blue and green is an original thought. And look at her kitchen. Blue and green.
Deer have such beautiful eyelashes.
Except for here's the problem. You
Do bears have
showcased your
eyelashes?
wallpaper, which is, as far as I can tell, the first thing you did in this room. You showcased it on June 18th, okay? But here she is on June 17th displaying the color she's painting her kitchen. Now, to be fair, I don't think you copied her. You had to order wallpaper. But I think it's a big reach to say she copied you.
Let's say hypothetically that Karen took inspiration from Tay and was doing projects from Tay, basically. Is that not the point? Like, you're making videos showing your projects because you're do-it-yourself creator. Like, look, I can do this myself and it looks cool. Does that not imply that, like, someone might do it themselves? Does that not imply that you would have influenced them because you're an influencer? You know, like, DIY content is essentially teaching content. Someone's going to do the same thing that you do because you made it look cool and fun and you love it. So of
Alright, I think that's
course,
it.
people are going to do the same thing.
Been live for about, this one's
See
gonna be
where
way
I'm going
longer
with
than this
So
one.
if you are proud of
This
the
one
thing
was
that
like
you made, and you're proud
12
of yourself,
minutes.
then it won't
But I guess
bother
this is
when you
smaller.
see 50 of the same thing across your
And
For
then
You
this
page.
one
And I
was the rest of the
understand
time.
wanting credit when someone does something.
It's supposed
that
to
you
be a
created,
dough, but I
in
don't think
this
you can get
instance,
that.
A lot of the things that Tay does, in my
Oh,
opinion,
well.
as someone who has been on the
Um,
internet for arguably too long,
I'm gonna go
at the
now.
ripe age of 25, who has been on Pinterest, who was on Tumblr, all
I have
of
a
that,
TikTok.
who was on YouTube for years before I even started making content. A lot of Tay's,
I don't draw these.
let's say, the organization, the collaboration of the different
Oh,
things
that's the
and
best.
projects and things
Best
that Tay's
what?
done. Those are what's interesting, in my opinion. The actual DIYs themselves are not new. The moss mirror, even with the broken moss, those have been on Pinterest for literal years, okay?
Yeah, I'm gonna
Years
go.
before Tay ever even did one. The gallery wall with, let's say, some form of an action figure head.
Bye.
Tay's instance,